For the 5 things I hate about this, at number 5, it's the noise. And I don't mean the exhaust. The exhaust sounds fine. It might be a little quiet for my liking, but what I mean is like the road noise. The road noise, anything up above like 50 mile an hour on the road, you get such a hum, it's ridiculous. But that's not it. Here in West Virginia, where there's, you know, moisture, rain, stuff like that, which isn't exactly what it's made for, it makes the suspension constantly squeaky in the steering. And like, I've greased it, I can grease it today, and 5 minutes later it's gonna do it again. But listen. And that's just the steering noise. That is not suspension when you're banging around and stuff. That's just, you know, constant what you're having to deal with. So that gives you a little idea there. And then after that, the bog. The bog in this thing is crazy. From 0 to like 3,500 to 4,500 RPMs, it just doesn't seem to pull right. And I'm pretty sure that is just the torque management that's programmed in from GM from the beginning. We're just gonna go ahead and give you guys an idea here. And see, there it picks up. Number 3 is the loose steering. Right here, we are not moving tires at all. And this is kind of what you have to deal with going down the road, because it doesn't want to just track straight all the time. It does kind of want to follow the road curves. It want to follow the crown, everything else. So constantly you're having to kind of readjust. And when you're readjusting, you're going down the road just sawing on it, trying to hold pressure to one side, and then it'll start to steer. So you have to hold pressure on the other side, and then it starts to go. And every now and then, when you get it to where it starts to steer, it'll want to kind of snap steer. And so what happens is you'll get a big jerk in the car. And so naturally, you go to, you know, correct the other way. And what happens, you go with all that looseness, you bump into it, you snap steer the other way. So that's why at number 3, I absolutely hate the loose steering. And that's not a problem with my car. And that's not a problem with Gen 1s. That is a problem with the Rally Fighter in general. I've talked to people with Gen 2s, I've talked to other people with Gen 1s, and everyone says, even straight from the factory, they deal with this looseness. At number 2, it leaks like an absolute sieve. And I've got some video, I hope I can get it pulled up here for you, but it'll leak from up around, all over the door, around the window seal, it leaks. And actually you can see right here where the other day when we were going to the call out event, it leaks from the windshield down and drips onto there. It'll leak down around your floor pan, and like you can see outside right there, and it'll leak in through there. So you'll just have all kinds of water at your feet the whole time. This over here is always soaked, and when you open up the door, it just drains water out of the door. And then my least favorite thing about the Rally Fighter is your visibility. Now, you know, you might say, oh, the visibility doesn't look that bad. Okay, so right here, you're at my eye level. You can see in the mirror. And you're looking, you know, from where I'm at, this is as far forward and far up as the seat goes. You know, you look around and say, it looks kind of bad, not that bad, really. Well, let me just reverse here a bit. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, look, like 10 feet in front of us, there was a sign that's actually fairly tall that we couldn't see because you just can't see out of this damn thing. And, you know, that side is definitely worse than this side, but then over here, you have the A-pillar. So like when you're going around a turn out on the road, you go and there can be certain turns that the angle is just perfect where you can't see the turn or any cars or anything else coming. And like, let's get up here. Okay, so we're driving and you see that ladder over there? Well, let's see here. We get to about right here and the ladder's just gone. Just gone, and we're still, you know, a good ways away. So you never know when there's rocks and stuff if you weren't paying attention a good ways out. And all that's bad enough, but up here, this is a very, like, shallow hill. It's not very steep, it's not very high. We get up on it and you can't see down. You don't know if it's a cliff. You don't know, you know, if there's a hazard down there or what. You just have to kind of go and hope for the best. And even when you're starting to go down the hill, your visibility is still just terribly poor. That's why my thing that I hate the most about the Rally Fighter is its visibility. And, you know, we just went downhill. Well, going up the hill, that's just as bad, if not worse in a lot of instances, because like, we're going up, we don't know if, once again, if this is gonna drop straight down, if it's gonna go flat, if there's something there we're gonna run into, and then you get up it and you're like, oh, okay. So, with all this being said, now we'll go ahead and transition over to the things I love about the Rally Fighter. At number 5, it's a conversation starter. I mean, I got it partly to start doing the auto vlogging thing, and so the more attention the vehicle can get, the better it is for the channel. And I just love talking about cars, and especially this car, to people. Every time I stop at a gas station or, you know, go to the grocery store with it or just drive it around for fun, somebody comes up to me and wants to know about it. They'll start talking, they ask, you know, what it was. And to me, that's just part of the charm of owning the car. Every place you go on the interstate or on the road, someone's taking your picture, recording you. Some people might not like that, though. Like, that could be considered a negative to some people. On to number 4. It can be worked on. And when I say that, I mean, you don't have to take it to somebody else. If you're slightly mechanically inclined, anything you want to do to it, any little maintenance stuff, it's made to be easy. With a basic mechanics tool set, you can get in there, change parts, fix problems, you know. And really, it's not hard to work on at all. Like, for the oil change, you can have a creeper and slide underneath the car without jacking it up. Get to the oil pan, get the bolt out, drain it, get the filter on, and there's just no headaches to it at all. It's all just nuts and bolts. It's basically a big erector set for an adult. At number 3, it's good on-road and off-road, and it can go absolutely anywhere. And, you know, that's evident in the fact that when I first got it, I was out in the desert. I was going out to Johnson Valley, like where they have Ultra 4 racing and stuff for King of the Hammers. Took it to Ocotillo Wells. It does good in the sand dunes. It does good in the hard pack. It does good on rocky stuff, hill climbs. Back here in West Virginia, I take it out. I've been out mudding with it a little bit. I take it on Razor and Jeep trails, stuff like that. And then I took it 4,000 miles on road across the country and never had a lick of trouble on the road. It drives like a pickup on the road. And it just does, you know, anything that I want it to do, it does it, and it does it happily. At number 2, I think it's just absolutely beautiful. I think it's, you know, one of the best looking cars that I've been able to see around. I mean, you know, yeah, sure, some of your really high-end supercars, hypercars, stuff like that are going to look better. But as far as something that, you know, you're going to go and beat on, drive as a daily driver, I think it's just one of the best. And for number 1, my absolute favorite thing about the Rally Fighter is its versatility. And when I say that, think about it. I drove this thing across country, and I took all the stuff for myself and my wife, all of our camera gear, computers, stuff to edit video, the drone stuff, our clothes, anything that we thought we wanted to bring back with us to leave back here when we didn't think we were coming to West Virginia to stay. The whole giant spare tire, and we still had room in the back and in the back seat area to put more stuff. So you can really haul a lot of stuff with it. It's got a tow hitch for doing light duty towing. Like if I want to go put a trailer on it to go camping or to go take my Razor someplace, I can do that. If I want to go drive on the road for a long distance, it gets about 16, 17 miles a gallon. And that's really not that bad. I mean, there's a lot of pickups and stuff that don't get that. There's a lot of SUVs that don't get that. So your gas mileage isn't that bad. And then, you know, let's say, like I did before, I want to go on a long trip. Well, I get someplace, there's a beach, there's dunes, there's off-road trails. You're not going to take your Prius out there on that stuff, but you know what? I can drive across the country, know it's going to be reliable, and then I can go off-roading. Just with all those little things together, they add up to make the car super versatile. The more I drive it, the more I love it. So if you have any questions about should you buy one, I mean, I've told you some of the bad things about it. I've told you the good things about it, and this should really help you make up your mind. If you guys have enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Come again, guys. Thanks.